How's it going, YouTube? Prisco YGO here, coming at you with another deck profile. So I know I've shown my Tribrigade list, which I'm not gonna lie to you, looking back on it, it was kind of bad, and I felt like I could have done better. So I'm going to just say this and preface this now that I'm going to be updating that list very soon. In the meantime, I did want to bring you guys something else that I've been working on, which is a Tribrigade Zoo-ish kind of deck. There's a very small zoo package that I wanted to throw into the deck and just see how it works, and I'm not gonna lie, I've been loving it. I love how it plays, I love how it works, I love the backup that it gives the plays if your Tribrigade stuff gets stopped, and I figured I'd share the list with you guys. I wanted to put out more YouTube content than I did with Twitch, because I felt like with Twitch, I've been, putting out content over there, but I haven't really been utilizing it and putting it on YouTube as much. So I figured, you know what, I might as well put out some YouTube content, grind some videos out, and show some love to the guys who have been here that haven't been able to make it over to Twitch yet. So I do want to formally invite you guys over to my Twitch channel, which is going to be shown on the screen right now. It's going to be twitch.tv/PriscoYGO. Also, we stream our Imperial Gaming Locals, all the time frames you can see right here on the side. So make sure you go ahead and check those out. Also, if you want to play in any of them, they are open to anybody within the US. $5 entry with OTS prize support. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump into this deck profile. So I've got the deck right here, as always, right in front of me, and we're gonna just go ahead and get started on this. Obviously, we're starting things off with 3 copies of our boy Fractal. This is one of the better cards in the deck. This is your combo starter that loads up your graveyard and allows you to just build advantage and gain momentum. As much as I want to call this deck like a combo-ish deck, this deck is more so tempo with some floodgates, if anything. And I will say this deck can 100% outgrind your opponent and out-resource your opponent very easily if you play it correctly. So Fractal is our #1 boy. Moving on, we are also playing 3 copies of Tribrigade Nerval. This is your level 1 winged beast, and it's a wind monster. This is why people were combining it with the Lyrilisk cards, because it was searchable off of the Lyrilisk XYZ monsters. Not only that, but this card also, when it's sent to graveyard, add any of the Tribrigade monsters to your hand. So you can see it being very versatile if you happen to normal summon it, use its effect to banish, so that you can link summon quote unquote into any other beast warrior, wing beast monster, link monster from your extra deck, and then you link it off for like a link Karibo, and then you can just gain more advantage from there. This card's really good. It's honestly, I would say it's a 3 of, but I've seen a lot of lists that cut this down to 2, and I don't see the reason why. Next, we are playing 3 copies of Karis. This card is your entire grind game in a nutshell, because for obvious reasons, they all have the same effect to link summon using cards in the graveyard, but this card also doesn't eat up your normal summon. You can discard any other beast warrior, wing beast monster from your hand for cost, so that you can special summon this card to the field. It's a very, very versatile card, because let's say you don't have any other card that you can pitch for his effect. Well, you could just go ahead and normal summon him, and then you'll still have all the same benefits that you would have for having a Tribrigade monster on the field. Very, very strong, and in my opinion, another staple 3 of, depending on the version of the deck you are playing. Now, here is where my list differs from most. I'm playing 2 copies of Tribrigade Kit, and the reason why is because I only really have 1 target, maybe 2, that I want to send off of this card's effect. If I have a Nerval in hand, then I kind of just, I can just go ahead and send this and then use its effect to dump a Rendezvous, which is what most people do anyway, so that you can have that extra layer of protection. And in a pinch, you can dump a Nerval so that Nerval can add to hand, and then that's pretty much it. That's really the only 2 uses that I have for this card right now, because I'm very rarely normal summoning this or having it on the field. And I'm not playing Rescue Cat in this version, so I don't see a need to have more than just 2. Moving on into the zoo package, we are playing 1 copy of Thoroughblade, 1 copy of Whiptail, and 2 copies of Ramram. The reason for this is because if I happen to open up both of these, then I'm still pretty much chilling. Or if I open up either one of these can act as your normal summons if you happen to have your Tribrigade effects negated, to say the least. On top of all of that, I feel like they're just very versatile. Playing the Whiptail and being able to search any of these off of a Tenki just makes your Tenki that much better, because now you have more targets in the deck, which is why I decided to run this small zoo package in here. I've also seen a lot of OCG lists that are playing very similar ratios, if not maybe a little bit more, like Bunny Blast, or I don't think they're playing Cataroost, but I've seen lists that are playing Bunny Blast, and I'm not gonna lie, I have been thinking about putting Bunny Blast in here just so that I can have that extra normal summon, as well as that protection from like spell targeting. But then again, I don't really see a lot of cards, at least not in my meta, my local meta, where there are spell cards that are negating my card's effects. Not a lot of people are playing Book of Moon or Forbidden Chalice, I should say. So, I mean, there's not really too much else. Moving on, for the rest of the monsters, we are playing the little chicken nugget with the giant chicken. I decided to throw these back in here, although I'm not gonna lie, they do conflict with the zoo package, or at least this one does. I decided to throw them back in here just so that I can have some more utility. I want this deck to be able to grind, and it does so very well already. And I pretty much took 2 of the grindiest decks in Yu-Gi-Oh, put them together, and then threw some floodgates in here, as well as this, you know, giant chicken that can continuously put itself onto the field. So I felt like playing this was objectively correct. However, I'm still in the process of testing these. These can easily come out, which would then open up the spot in the extra deck for some work to come out. But I'm trying these out right now, and I'll let you know in a future video how much I like them, because I'm not gonna lie, I like them right now, but there are times where the barrier statue kind of gets in the way of my plays. For the hand traps, we are playing 3 copies of Ash Blossom, 3 copies of Phantasme, 2 copies of Droll and Lockbird, and this is just for space reasons that I wanted to cut one of these down, and if I was going to cut any of them down, it had to be Droll, because Ash is just way too generic and way too important, and Phantasme, this is just going to help us unbrick our hands. If you don't want to play Phantasme, you can play Pot of Prosperity, which kind of fulfill the same roles, except this is a hand trap you can use during your opponent's turn if you're going second, and Pot of Prosperity obviously is going to help you dig deeper into the deck to just get you that one card that you need. Both of them fulfill the same purpose, except one's a spell and one's a monster. This one also is a lot more versatile because it can protect your cards from targeting, your monsters from targeting from your opponent's side of the field. So it's also really big body. On top of all of that, I mean, it's just a really good card in general. So that is that. Going into our spells, we are playing 3 copies of Tenki. Now, this is the card that I was saying that you activate this and you search for a Beast Warrior and a level 4 Beast Warrior and add it to your hand, level 4 or lower. So now you have more targets for this to search. So if all your fractals are expended and you really are going into that grind and you don't have any more targets, but you top deck a Tenki, sorry, different deck. If you top deck a Tenki, then this card will just allow you to keep playing and, you know, keep getting deeper into the deck so that you can get those Zoodiac cards out. And it's just the Zoodiac engine makes this card so much better in this deck. So now you don't have just 3 targets, 6 copies of Fractal. Not only, you're also playing 4 copies of Thoroughblade, 4 copies of Whiptail, and 5 copies of Ramram. So it's a very good card, very solid card, and I do think that it is worth playing. Actually, any deck that's not playing that's just incorrect. For the other 3 of spell, we are playing 3 Twin Twisters. I know they're commons, don't make fun of me. Twin Twister is, before I was playing Cosmic, Twin Twisters is just better because not only are you popping 2. So yeah, you're breaking even because you discard, but then you're also plussing 1 because whatever you discard can potentially just get you more card advantage. So if you like activate this, pop 2, discard a Nerval, now Nerval's going to add a card to your hand, you just went +1. If you dump a kit, well then that kit's going to dump probably a Nerval, and then that Nerval's going to add to hand. Now you just went +1, maybe 2, depending on how you look at the math. This card is really good in this deck, and I don't know why people aren't playing it. I have seen some people playing it, but not very many. And now for the one-ofs, we're playing the 1 Zoodiac Barrage, 1 Foolish Burial, and the 1 Rendezvous. That's going to wrap up all of our spells. I don't think these really need too much like explanation. This is just a really good 1-card starter if we really need something in the graveyard. This is going to be able to kind of turbo out any of your Zoodiac cards. So this is like your 4th copy of Tenki when it comes to the Zoodiac engine. And on top of all of that, this is going to be sent to graveyard so that you can protect your field. And in a pinch, its on-field effect can be activated during the damage step so that you can just push for damage or climb over that one really, really annoying card that your opponent has on field. Moving into the traps, we are still playing 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. This card comes up quite a lot, especially in like the trap build. Being able to set this to your field and to turn off an entire column as well as negating a monster on the field, it's just really good. And then obviously in a pinch, you can just go ahead and use this as a hand trap to negate something that your opponent has on field if you don't want them to be able to use its effects, as long as it allows targeting and whatnot. It's a really good card, really versatile card, and I really think that this card, especially this version of the card, is going to be going up in price very soon. So if you don't have your gold rares, or if you're sitting on your secret rares, you should probably pick up some gold rares while you're at it. Also, in testing, gold rares end up in my hand quite a lot. So and then 3 more traps. We are playing the 2 copies of Tribrigade Revolt because this card's just fucking broken. If you resolve this more than once in a game, there's no way that you're losing that game. Most of the time, if you resolve it once, you're probably winning anyway. And then and just so that for some information on what this card actually does, this card can special summon any number of Beast Warrior Wing Beast monsters from your graveyard or your banished pile, and then immediately on resolution use those monsters to link summon into a Tribrigade Link monster, right? So you use this to go into a Shurig, right? You can get those cards that are in the graveyard's effects. They're negated on the field, so if you don't end up using all of them, which again, you don't have to use all of them. I've explained that in another video before. You don't have to use all of them. So let's say you summon 5 and you can just use 4, right? That last monster on the field, its effects are negated, but now you have another body for link summoning later in the turn, as well as a card that can just put more pressure on your opponent when it comes to damage. So this card already exerts enough pressure onto your opponent as it is. Being able to now, you know, chainlink 1 Shuri, chainlink 2 Nerval, chainlink 3 Kit, right? Gain you advantage as well as chain blocking your non-targeting banish boss monster it's insane. This card is fucking nuts. It should not have been printed as a common. Just saying. And then the final card, our 40th card, is Imperial Order, because even though we are playing spells, this is why I decided not to play Pot of Prosperity in here. Obviously, if I was playing Prosperity, I wouldn't be playing this. I'd probably be playing 1 more copy of Revolt. But because we're not playing the pot card, we are playing this so that we can shut off those spell-heavy decks, such as Invoked Dogma, Shadal, and whatever, if you have that one random person that's playing Sky Striker, like I almost always do at my locals. This card kind of just says, hey, I win. So yeah, if you decide that you want to play Pot of Prosperity, obviously I would recommend cutting this and putting in a 3rd Revolt or just whatever else you feel like you need, just so that you can be able to, you know, have more advantage over your opponent on your card choices, I should say. Moving into the extra deck, we are playing 2 copies of Ferrijit the Barren Blossom. This card is probably your bread and butter. I also don't really like, I don't summon this as often unless I really need to like dig deep, or if I feel like putting out an Appaloosa at that point I'm playing combo. But for the most part, I'm ending my turn on like 4 summons and maybe a back row set. So this is, you know, this is kind of just your utility so that you can dig deeper into the deck, as well as, you know, be able to put out board presence without eating up your normal summon, because this can summon monsters from your hand. And when it goes to the graveyard, you can draw 1 and put 1 card on the bottom of your deck. So it's a very versatile and very, very useful card. We are also playing 2 copies of Shurig the Ominous Omen. If I had a third one, I probably would be playing a third one, not gonna lie, because this card is just that good. But this card, non-targeting banish on summon, and when it goes to the graveyard, you can add any Beast, Beast Warrior, Winged Beast monster from your deck to your hand with a level equal to the number of Beast, Beast Warrior, and Winged Beast monsters that are banished. We are playing 1 copy of Rugal. This card is just very versatile, but in my last list I was playing 2. I kind of don't feel like that's correct. Now, although this can special summon from your graveyard and add it back to hand during the end phase, but for the most part, you're going to be setting up this plus this, and then, you know, that way you have a quick effect banish, or not really a quick effect banish, but being able to summon a monster from your graveyard during your opponent's turn and trigger this card's effect to banish that doesn't target. That's the really good part. For our quote-unquote generic links, we are playing the 1 Link Karibo, 1 Harpy Conductor, 1 Ancient Warrior Oath, double Dragon Lords. This card's really, really good. I don't recommend anybody cut this from their list. 1 Desperate Doom Eagle, 1 Simorgh Bird of Sovereignty, and 1 Appaloosa Bow of the Goddess. And that's going to wrap up our links. Link Karibo obviously is for our Nerval Harpy Conductor, so that we can link climb into our Simorgh. This is going to be your quick effect compulse-ish type effect. This is so that you can shuffle cards from your opponent's graveyard back into their deck. That way you can go and push for damage, because this card will double its attack if they have no monsters. Obviously, Appaloosa for negation, and Simorgh so that you can summon out your chicken and chicken nugget. For our Xyz, this is pretty self-explanatory. 1 Trident, 1 Chakanine, 1 Borbo, and then 1 big ol' Zeusy boy. This card is nuts, and that was one of the other reasons why I decided to play the Zoo engine in this deck, because Borbo kind of fulfills the role that Bird Up was trying to utilize with its cards, being able to use the Bird Up cards to attack directly and then slap a Zeus right on top of it. Pretty much you're doing the same thing where you normal summon a Zoo, slap a Borbo on top, enter battle, attack directly for almost no damage, and then main phase 2, boom, boom, boom. Now you've got a 4 material Zeus, right? Zeus is just really strong, and it puts a lot of pressure on your opponent, which is kind of what you want to do with this deck. Now, I do have a side deck prepared here. This is, you don't have to build this exactly to how I have it, but this is a pretty accurate representation of how side decks should be looking when you play decks such as mine. We are playing 2 copies of Alpha Master of Beasts and the 1 Pankrotop. This card does very well to synergize with the deck, because you can bounce any number of Beast, Beast Warrior, Winged Beast monsters from your field to your hand, so that you can bounce the same number of cards that your opponent controls back to their hand, and then you can just special summon this again, and now you have a big 3000 body that can just do damage or just attack over whatever you weren't able to target. Pankrotop's obviously for going second, kind of fulfills the same role. This is going to force negates, and so is this, and if they don't negate while you're clearing their board, you don't have to worry about pretty much anything else. We are also playing 2 copies of Nibiru, the Primal Being. I would be playing a third, but again, for space reasons, I had to make some changes to the ratios here. We are playing the 1 Harpy's Feather Duster for back row removal. Obviously, the Twin Twisters are in the main deck. 3 copies of Dark Ruler No More, just so that we have we actually stand a chance going second. Dark Ruler No More can kind of just be that card that shuts everything off and allows you to pick apart your opponent's board so that you can build your own board and do what you need to do so that they can't play. Again, that's what this deck wants to do. Speaking of going second cards, we are playing 3 copies of Evenly Matched as well. And I will say, opening Dark Ruler plus Evenly, whoo baby, your opponent's not doing shit. I'm just saying. They can go ahead, yeah, you know, that's fine. Activate Dark Ruler, enter battle, end of battle, activate Evenly, clear their board, main phase 2, set up your Simorgan, your little chicken nugget, and whatever other cards you want. And you're pretty much free to do whatever you want from there, other than kill them, which that's fine. Because for the most part, they're probably not playing much anyway. And then the final card, this is more of a personal tech choice that I'm deciding to run. 3 copies of Dimensional Barrier, and this is just so that we can play against the deck that, in my opinion, kind of hurts us the most, which is Shaddoll Invoked, because Winda absolutely fucks us. And being able to just stop your opponent from getting into any of their fusion plays or synchro plays or Xyz plays or ritual plays or whatever, right? Being able to stop them from having access to that specific summoning mechanic makes this deck's win rate, the win percentage, just skyrocket. So this is my personal favorite card for the side deck here. Again, you don't have to play this. You can play whatever else you want. If you have access to like lightning storms, droplets, or whatever, go ahead and play those. They're probably going to be a lot better. But for me, who I'm not always on a budget, but somewhat on a budget for this deck list, I will say that this card is just insane. So that is going to wrap up today's deck list for the Tribrigade Zoo Trap kind of deck profile. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you let me know down in the comment section below. I know that this has been a bit of a long one, but I want to make sure that I actually explain my card choices as I'm, you know, putting out these videos, and not just saying, hey, this is what I'm playing, and then not explain anything, so that people who are watching my videos and are looking for information on the decks that I'm showcasing don't just say, well, I don't know what any of them do. So there's that. Anyways, guys, I really hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you leave a thumbs up if you feel like I deserve it. Check out all my social medias. Links will be down in the description below. Join my Discord so that you can get to talking to me directly. And that's all I got to say, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Deuces.